This is episode number 913 of the InnerFight podcast. This week, I bring you, are you overtraining? And the possible effects on your body. This is a problem for so many people. People are super fired up this time of year, any time of year. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, to train more because they have aggressive fitness goals, or they want to lose weight, or they want to look good for some other external reason. They want to build some muscle because they're going on holiday soon. That also might be you. However, one of the things that we see often is overtraining. People training a little bit too much, which I guess is the flip side of last week's show, 9/11, when we spoke about doing CrossFit or participating in CrossFit program 5 days a week. One of the biggest things from it is to understand if you are overtraining. So this week, I'm going to talk about some of the things that you might want to pay attention to, or some of the warning signs and signals that you're overtraining. It's not smart to blow through these things. The body is, and the mind is probably a little bit smarter than you and will eventually force you to stop. And it does that by basically injuring you. Number one thing, or number one sign of overtraining is you are just constantly tired. You feel tired in the morning, you feel tired mid-morning, lunchtime, afternoon. Sometimes though, that tiredness leaves in the evening and you can't even sleep because you're overtired, basically, is a simple way of looking at it. If you are in a state of constant fatigue, you are probably overtraining. If you're waking up every morning without energy, going to the gym is probably not the right thing. Speak to one of us. We will definitely help you out. With that, you also might be seeing decreased performance. If your numbers have been going up and suddenly they start going down, you could be in a fatigued state. You might not feel that you're in a fatigued state. You might not feel overtrained. However, it's a really good sign. If you're able to lift a certain amount of weight before and you're not able to lift it now, if you're able to run a certain pace before, you're not able to lift it now, and everything else is remaining kind of equal, you could be in an overtrained state. I mentioned it with point one, that the body tells us when to stop. And normally the body tells us when to stop with an injury. If you're getting an injury, it is a sign from the body to slow down. If you're getting consistently injured, then you could be in a state of almost chronic fatigue, chronic overtraining, which sometimes needs definitely medical help. Often it just needs a little bit of logic. If I train super hard when I'm super tired, I constantly get injured. Okay, let's stop training super hard when you're super tired, and then you probably won't get injured. Most injuries happen when people are in an overtrained state. It is the body talking to us and telling us to slow down. It's given us all the signals prior, but we've been able to ignore them. And now suddenly it has basically blown a hamstring, the calf's pulled, or something's wrong with the shoulder. That's on a muscular level. The other thing that we see in overtraining is what we'd call a compromised immune system. You're getting sick a lot. You're picking up bugs. You've got always a sniffly nose, or even something like a simple eye infection or itchy eyes. Very basic things, skin rashes, could be showing that your immune system is compromised because you are adding far too much stress to it from training too much. And I see this quite often where people say, yeah, I'm not feeling too good today, but I'm going to do the session anyway because I need to do it. That is probably one of the worst things you could do. If you're vocalizing that you're not feeling good to yourself or to someone else, you're probably not ready to train at any sort of intensity. And one day off at the start of feeling an illness can actually help that illness not to set in and not to set you back for 2 weeks. Most colds should only last 2 to 3 days, 5 days, unless we're under extreme stress, and then they are lasting a lot longer. So if you start to feel not good, you feel like your immune system's been compromised, then doing nothing, if that doesn't sit well with you, just go for a walk, but don't do anything strenuous, and you will get back to the gym and to your training program a lot faster. The final thing that I want to share around overtraining is that your mood and your general zest for things is probably a little bit low. If you're waking up not super excited to train, you might not be super tired, you might not feel that your body aches, but you just don't have any sort of zest to go and train, any sort of motivation to go and train. Your mood, emotionally, mentally, you're just not there. You're probably not doing the right training, or your training program doesn't have the right sort of periodization involved in it, or B, you are coming into a state of fatigue where you just need a little bit of time off. You might just need a few days off. You might need to change gears a little bit, go for a walk, do something a little bit different, and then come back to it the next day. There is no point in training when you're tired. You will not get all of the benefits and the adaptations. Your body will give you all of the signals. Don't try and outsmart it. Don't try and beat it, because you won't. And what it will do is it will hold you back for longer and put you on the sidelines for a little bit longer. Guys, overtraining is not necessary. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.